Hello everyone. So today I'm just going to go through a quick video about 10 things I wish I knew working 10 years in the IT industry. So first, who am I and why I am doing this video? So I've been working in multiple companies, technologies and domains. I've met lots of people. I also worked with lots of people in Mauritius and abroad. So I'm Abdallah, by the way. If you don't know me, I'm a software developer from Mauritius, and I do mostly web development, full stack development, mostly backend recently, but sometimes front as well. So in my free time, I like contributing back to the local community scene and train freshers. And previously, I've trained freshers and junior developers. But apart from that, I also enjoy mentoring others. So let's start. For whom is this lecture, this presentation rather, university students, freshers, junior, mid-level IT professionals, or any other one who you want to get an edge? Here you can learn from the 10 things I've learned. 1 point each year, maybe. All right, so friends. When working, you have good friends, it makes the journey far more interesting. Like we say, companionship sweetens the journey. However, if you have too many friends at work, the problem I see is that it might hamper your productivity. And you also can have this over willingness to help. So just to quickly share a story with you, a long time ago, I had a friend who had some issues, a colleague who was also my friend, and the person had some issues with some work, so I helped him. I decided to help him, and of course, I had my own work to do, so it was during my free time. And just because he was a good friend of mine, I helped him a couple of times, and I've soon found out that it's not easy. And just because he was my friend, I had a hard time saying no. But this can be a lesson learned as well. And the last point for that is when you're working in an enterprise, in a corporate, not everyone is your friend. Some people have a hidden agenda. So the best thing to do is to not tell everything, especially your personal life, because they are going to be used against you. I've not fortunately experienced this, but I've seen in companies that I work, this has happened before. And so beware. So beware of this part. This is one of the best advice I can give to anyone entering the industry. So let's move on. Second, mentors. When I started my career so many years ago, I didn't really know what to do. I had some skills that I've developed before, and I had some interest as well, but there was not really anyone to tell me, yeah, if you want to go in this direction, do this, other direction, you can go there. And the people who advised me, of course, thank you. It's not, I'm not criticizing them, so thank you very much. But they all were biased in some way. Not everyone, obviously. They all had like skin in the game because, for example, let's say you wanted to, after university, you want to join a company. So you ask maybe someone from LinkedIn some advices, and this person will definitely advise you, if they're recruiting, of course, to join them. So this happened to me a few times, and I've seen it countless of times. But that's why I say if you can reach out to mentors, and not necessarily like official mentors, but for example, tech influencers and experts, those who like sharing stuff, who are community driven, who likes helping others, just ask a couple of questions. So, I want to do this and this, but I'm doing this, or I've learned technology X. I'm not very interested with it, so I want to move to technology Y. Is it worth it? This person, having already worked for years in the industry, they will give you the best advice, unless of course they have something to sell you, or I don't know, but most probably those, for example, influencers or experts that I know in Mauritius, they're genuine, and those that are part of the community at least, and they will help you with the directions. For example, you want to become a web developer, you want to do web development your whole life, so which technology to use, For me, there is no other way of looking things. For example, in the corporate world, ASP.NET Technology mostly dominant in Mauritius. And if you want to do some front-end corporate enterprise world, it's Angular. Otherwise, startups use mostly React, from what I've seen, and some also use Node.js. So there's so many things to talk about that. Now, third point, as important, is work-life balance. So for some people, it's a cliche, but I don't think there is another easy way to describe it or reframe it. So what I mean is that even let's say you're very career focused, you're an ambitious person, and you want to make a lot of progress in life, what happens is that if you do not have the balance, your productivity will be affected. It's just like a bell job or bell graph. So when you start, you're fresh, you start working hard, and when you work very hard, you reach your peak, you are the most productive. But if you don't take a break or take some holidays, you soon see that your productivity drastically decreases, and that's a big issue in my opinion, because your work suffer, and when you burn out, you won't be really focused on the work itself, on yourself. So everything goes downhill. There's even the law of diminishing returns that tells that if you do something too much for too long, the returns are diminishing. And in my situation, in my experience and the experience of other colleagues that I've seen, if you work too hard, at some point you'll start making too many mistakes, and this becomes negative productivity. So, and one point I also find very interesting is that not everything that shines is gold. So what I mean is that you don't need to chase any other technology or anything that is shining or hype in the moment, that is trending. Rather, if you want to do so in your own time, do it. But life is quite short, and I will also mention this at the end, not really at the end, but I have a point on that more specifically. So what you want to do, of course, is to have a balance and do other stuff apart working as well and live your life. And a final tip for this part is it's not how, it's who. This is quite important, actually. Especially if you're a new graduate, you're fresher, junior developer, so many times you will get work assigned to you, a task, a ticket, user story, and what really happens is that you soon see that it's not a problem of how, meaning that there's going to be information lacking or you need permission or access right to do something. So instead of losing your time and fighting this condition, rather as quickly as possible, if you can, someone who can guide you, someone who can help you. And if you are senior, and you will also encounter such situation. For example, for me, one of my previous work, I would often get a ticket with only a title or a few words, XYZ, and now I need to figure out, I need to guess, and for me, it's worthless to do all of that. What's most important is to just who who is this person that can help me right now? Or is this person the customer that I need to contact to get more details? So, imposter syndrome. I think we are going to get a long video or podcast today, but for the moment, I will go to this last point: imposter syndrome. So, what is the famous imposter syndrome? So unless you've been living under a rock recently, or maybe in the past 5 or 6 years, there has been mentioned so many places about this term. It means that you feel you're not good enough, that people will discover you, that you're an imposter, you're not someone who is good at the job. But let me assure you that it's not you alone who feels like that. We all feel like that, and change is constant. People resist change. So whenever they resist change, there is always this opportunity. And for early adopters, you have early adopters who grab these opportunities and they make the most of it. So reframe imposter syndrome to become an opportunity for early adopters. I will give you a couple of examples. So a few years back, it was cryptocurrency, blockchain technology all over the web, everywhere on the tech scene. So early adopters who have taken an advance, or who had been taken the initiative about it, now find themselves in a very creative situation. I'm not a big fan myself of cryptocurrency or things like that, but I think there are some merits in blockchain and AI as well. So these technologies, these markets change very quickly. So don't worry about uh, imposter syndrome that people might find you about who you are, because this only brings opportunities. And if you have the right mindset, there's only the way forward. So I will leave you to that. I have another 6 point coming in another video. See you later.